We are on the last episode of the Get to Know Me series for now. This one's all about fulfill it yourself, FIY. What the F does that mean? I'll tell you in a minute. We are finally there! We are on the last episode of the Get to Know Me series. Welcome back to Living by the F Word. So happy to be doing this video today, only because I feel like it's gonna be a very encouraging and inspiring video once you guys find out what I'm even talking about. What is FIY? That's probably gonna be one of the first questions I cover, so don't worry. But if you're new here and you're just coming across this video, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Jess. I'm a fine artist, flight attendant, and festival enthusiast, and everything that I talk about here on my channel is an F word. So, fulfill it yourself. That's what I'm talking about today. Thanks for all my returning subscribers, of course, for sticking with me through the series. This is episode 8. That's totally insane. It has taken so much longer to complete this series than I thought, so I do really appreciate everyone that is checking out this video. It means a lot to me. Let's get into the first question. Question number 1, what is fulfill it yourself? What does that mean? So, there's 2 parts to this, okay? The first part is basically my version of do it yourself. Of course, I am living by the F word. How can DIY be incorporated into my channel? I have to make it an F word. Most of the time when you do a do it yourself project, you feel fulfilled. You're proud of yourself. You're like, fuck yeah, I just did that. You feel very fulfilled and you fulfilled something that you wanted to do on your own. So that is how the concept came up when I first started living by the F word. I wrote down all the different F words that I enjoy doing, that I wanted to share with people. And I do a lot of do-it-yourself type projects, so I just switched it to fulfill it yourself. It then kind of branched off into part 2. Part 2 of fulfill it yourself is a mentality. It's something to think about. For instance, you can fulfill whatever you want to do with your life. There's no limitations. You are in control, basically. And so those are kind of the 2 sides of the coin when it comes to my fulfill it yourself, what I'm talking about. There's either actual home improvement projects, fulfill it yourself, festival fashion, you name it, doing yourself a project. And then there's like a fulfill it yourself mentality of, I can do this, I can do whatever I want with my life, I can go after what I want in my life. So that's how fulfill it yourself was created, and that's what it means. Question number 2 is, what are some small FIY projects that you completed? So there are a few that I'm a fan of. The gallery style wall in my bedroom is something I enjoy so much. I love waking up to that wall. I just love waking up in my room in general. My room is a very cozy place for me, so I really like the gallery wall that I did. And if you guys are interested, I can show you some tips and stuff that made it easier for me to get it the way I wanted it to be styled. I have also made myself Polaroids. So all the Polaroids you see behind you are not actual Polaroids. They're just photos from my Instagram that I really love of all my travels, places I've been, food that I've eaten, people that are a big part of my life, festivals. There's a lot of things on there. And there is an app that you could use to drag and drop your photos and create your own Polaroids. So if you want me to do a video on that, I can do that as well. Another project that was a smaller fulfill it yourself project that I did was I created all the mannequin heads that are in my studio that hold all the headpieces that I've made. So that was a fun project. I made 5 of those. Another smaller project is turning my stickers into magnets. I will link a card or the video in the description below. I did a whole video on how to turn your festival and travel stickers into magnets. That way you can keep them and actually use them. Okay, the next question is, what are some larger FIY projects you've completed? So the biggest one, which basically a lot of the smaller projects that I just told you about in the last question, they were a part of this larger project, which was converting my garage into a studio. So where I'm sitting right now, where I'm filming, it is my garage. I basically converted it from, it was pretty much what typical garages are, filled with a ton of crap, close to being borderline hoarders, and I turned it into something really beautiful. So I'm gonna be showing you guys how I did that in some future videos. So make sure if you're not subscribed, you're subscribed and you hit the bell so that way you get notified when I upload those videos. The downside of having your studio be in the garage, by the way, is bugs, insects. I don't get that many, but. So, fulfill it yourself. Ah! 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 Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God! What is that? Ah! Oh my God! Oh my God, what the f is that? Ah! I am going to be transitioning. What the f? What the f is this thing? Now, I don't know what the f that is. Yeah, so another large project or larger projects that I'm proud of are creating the festival headpieces that I make, feather mohawks, the hats, this headpiece here are just pretty, they take a long time. They really do. I'm really proud of them. That's why I have them on display in here so that I could look at them and remember festival life and how I made those myself. It just brings me a lot of joy. The last larger project that I am really proud of for fulfilling it yourself is this YouTube channel. Last year I launched. It was like a big goal of mine to share my passions with everyone and share the projects that I work on and give advice because I'm extremely experienced in a lot of different areas. I'm really proud of that because it takes a lot to put yourself out there. It really does. You don't know what people are gonna say. You don't really know who's watching unless they comment. And yeah, it's just kind of like another world of unknowns, really. But it takes a lot of planning. You have to plan content, you have to script content, you have to film the content, you have to edit the content. I would say that that is another larger scale FIY project that I am proud of. And yeah, it's only gonna get better because I just have a huge list of ideas that I'm just gonna keep rolling out videos. So it's just gonna get better and better. And I'm really excited. Next question is, what are some upcoming FIY projects you are going to be working on? The first one is my mother bought me some terrariums, hanging, and also they could just be on the counter. She bought them for me a while ago and they kind of have just been sitting in the cabinets here in my studio. So I finally ordered some air plants and crystals so that my mom and I can make some cool hanging terrariums. So I will be filming that for you guys. I really want to do a festival jacket, make your own festival jacket video. I've been dying to make myself a festival jacket for so long. It's one of those other things on my list to do, and even though there's no festivals, I think that it would be a project that will really make me happy. And I think a lot of people will appreciate it, especially those in the festival industry, the festival scene, rave scene, everything like that. Now we're kind of moving into the fulfill it yourself mentality, those type of questions. So the other side of what this could mean to you, what it means to me. What do you do to keep a positive mentality? So for me, I try to have a self-care routine. I journal. I will get into this in the next question about what I actually do, but I write in my journal what I want to accomplish for the day and I just try to do something that is good for my mental health. Whether, you know, even journaling is good for your mental health. So let me just dive into the next question. Next question is, what do you do for your daily self-care routine? So I journal. That is a huge thing. I don't do it every single day, but it's important to do it every few days at least if I don't do it every day. So I will write what I want to accomplish for the day. I will write about how I'm feeling about certain things. And I also just kind of write my to-do list. It's kind of like a bullet journal, but not really as nice as other bullet journals out there. Bullet journals is like a system where you can migrate tasks, complete tasks, and break down tasks so that you can see what you want to accomplish. And mine's kind of sloppy. It's more like I just write my list there so that it's not on a piece of paper that I can lose throughout the day. I just keep all my ideas in one place. That way, if I don't get to that idea, I can migrate it to a next day, somewhere further in the week. I also use tarot cards daily. Tarot, oracle, any type of card divination. I pretty much do that every single day. I will journal about that as well. And also, as far as the daily self-care routine, I try to meditate for at least 10 to 15 minutes. If I can't meditate, I will at least try to just stretch and say some affirmations to myself. And hopefully, once I get my Step Fitness and the equipment that I ordered, once that comes in, I will hopefully be incorporating fitness into my routine, which is definitely a part of self-care and makes you feel really good, makes you not tired. Just go watch the last video I put out for the fitness is my F word, and you'll understand like the benefits of fitness. So I'm really looking forward to getting back into that. In the meantime, I've been trying to do some yoga. That's pretty much it. Next question up is, how have you created a life that you can call your own? So this is a big part of fulfilling it yourself. I think just going after your goals and staying true to who you are is extremely important. And how I've done that is it started with solo travel. I really felt like I got to know myself and the type of person I am and want to be and continue to be. I then got into festivals and I decided I'm gonna go to festivals for free, and I followed that dream and that goal, and I started working for Awake Tours as a tour guide. I worked for them for a few years. I also obviously started livingbythefword.com. I covered a lot of events professionally with my blog to write and assist producers and festival goers on how to make the festival better. And from there, I spoke at X Live. There was just a lot of things that I went after, and it was all because I worked for it. And that's what fulfill it yourself really is on the mentality side. It's just making sure you're going after what you want to do and not giving up, basically. You know, I mean, that's pretty much what it comes down to. And I also became a flight attendant, and I became an initial instructor for my company. There's a lot of things that I've gone after that I've always wanted to do, and basically traveling for free and going to festivals for free were like the top of my priority, and that's what I did. And then now some of my newer priorities are this YouTube channel. I just know that it's gonna keep growing. I know that it's slow to start, but I know that eventually I will have a lot of F word lovers on here, because I love a lot of F words and I talk about a lot of different topics, and everyone is welcome here, no matter what F word you fucking love. I don't care. If you love it, you're meant to be here. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that I've done that have created that type of mentality and created the lifestyle I want to live. I think that there are so many people out there that think life should be a certain way, and they have this timeline. They have this timeline of, by this age you should be this, by this you should be this, by this, and it kind of fucks with a lot of people's heads. You know, even sometimes with me, it fucks with my head a little bit. Like, I'm like, am I where I'm supposed to be right now? Like, all my other friends are married and they have kids, and I'm still going to festivals, and I'm still partying, and I'm making YouTube videos. And I'll never forget, like, I flew with this one lady, and I told her, it was when I first started my YouTube video, and she was like, isn't that like for teenagers, YouTube? I'm just like, yo, like, people like will try to put you down, you have to just block those people off and like seriously just like laser focus on what the fuck you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's really irrelevant. You know what I mean? If people aren't supporting you, they're not on your team, just don't even worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Like it takes a long time to get to that point, especially with social media nowadays. It's like, it's really hard to get to that point, but you just have to remember what your goals are and stay true to yourself, basically. And then you'll create a life for yourself that you want to live. Next question is, what is the hardest part about keeping an FIY mentality? And I'm not gonna lie, yesterday I had a rough day. I should have been filming this yesterday, and there are a lot of times where I get into my own head and it's hard to pull myself out of it. And so you really need to just remember that sulking about things or putting things off isn't gonna get you anywhere. Once in a while, okay, but once you get to a few days, a few weeks, a few months of you being sad or not doing something to change your life, but you're constantly unhappy about it, that's a problem. And so I think the hardest part for everyone is just being your own encouragement. When other people encourage you, it's really easy to keep going. When you're getting a lot of love, like, you know, people messaging you like, I love what you're doing, it's so amazing, oh my gosh, I love your new video, this, that. It's really easy. Like, sometimes you have to be your own cheerleader, which is the hardest part, in my opinion, of keeping this mentality of going after what you want in life. Next question up is, tell us some long-term goals that you have to fulfill things that you want to do in your life. Number one is learn After Effects. That is one of my biggest long-term goals, is to be proficient in After Effects. I really want to incorporate 2D animation into my videos. I have wanted to really do that from the start because I love Flash animation. I talked about that in the Fine Art is my F Word video for the Get to Know Me series. I had never learned After Effects because I got into animation my last semester in college. So it kind of just like, I lost touch with all of it. So I am going to be learning After Effects eventually. I feel like I'm gonna sign up for a class for it. And then obviously I'll be watching, there's a lot of YouTubers I watch that talk about it. It's very complex and I'm super excited to learn it because I think my videos will be super dope and way more fun to watch once I start adding in these animations with the video. It's just really engaging and fun. Another long-term goal that I have is just basically building this F-word community up, like of the F-word lovers. I always say, hey, what's up, F-word lovers? Or in the text, I say F-word lovers. So basically, I don't care if you are a flight attendant and flight crew and you want to watch future videos I do about flying. I don't care if you are a festival, addict and you love festivals and you want to just watch my festival videos. If I'm talking about fashion and you like fashion, great. Basically what I'm trying to say is everyone is welcome here. Like I don't want there to be a barrier. Within my brand. I don't want to feel like I'm boxed off either, if that makes sense. Because with YouTube and with social media, there's all these rules that you have to have a niche, go after a niche, get all those people, and then you could start dabbling into other things because you'll already have a fan base. I created Living by the F Word for a reason, because I love F words. And so I want my fan base to be F word lovers of all types. Like it doesn't matter to me which one you like, or if you like all of them, or if you like the whole idea, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's a big long-term goal of mine. I cannot fucking talk today. That is a big long-term goal of mine, is to grow this F-word community and just share my passions, really. I created this channel so I could share all my passions, and so that's what I want to do. Something else long-term that I eventually want to do, and don't hold me to this yet. This has been floating in my head for some time, but I know the amount of dedication and hard work it would take, and I'm not quite ready for it yet because I'm still learning and studying, but I eventually want to draw or design my own tarot deck. And that will be fucking amazing when I do. I'm not ready for that yet because I'm still learning about the system. I'm still learning about all card systems, and yeah, I know people that have designed these decks. It takes years because there's 78 cards, and you really have to come up with some imagery that people are going to connect with, and that really means something to you. But long term, I don't know how long term I'm talking, but eventually, sometime in my lifetime, I would like to create my own tarot deck, oracle deck, something along those lines, maybe both. We'll see. And another long-term goal I would like to accomplish is starting a podcast. Now, I know what a lot of people are probably thinking, like, fuck, another podcast? Like, there's so many out there, right? So I'm brewing with that idea too. I obviously have a lot of ideas. I have a lot of content that I have floating around in my head. We will see, but long term, I eventually like to start a podcast. Why? Because I talk a lot. Hello, if you've been subscribed to my channel, like, these videos are so long. I love to fucking talk. So a podcast would be really great for me because there's like no limit. It could be anywhere from 30 to, 90 minutes, and I'd be cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, whereas with the YouTube, people are like, oh my God, this is a 30-minute video about festival fashion. I can't even handle this. You know what I mean? Like, so that's another long-term idea, goal that I have. So let's see where I'm at in a few years, where I get with all these goals. The last question is, will you be showing more FIY material on your YouTube channel? And I'm pretty sure that I talked about it and blabbed about it because even though I try to keep myself structured with questions and answers and all that, I know I always go off in all different directions, like I'm doing right now even. But yes, I do plan on showing you FIY videos because there's no flying really going on, because there's no festivals, yada, yada, yada. Yes, a lot of my videos are going to be shifting to FIY videos, and I also want to introduce tarot and cards into my channel. I just love it. I just think that it's going to be really great for other people and for me to meet other people in the tarot community. That's kind of what you can expect as far as fulfill it yourself style videos in the future. And don't forget to subscribe. And when you subscribe, you have to hit that bell. So I know if you're on YouTube, you know what I'm talking about, but if you're not familiar with YouTube and you're gonna subscribe to my channel, there's a little bell next to it. You have to click it, and then you have to hit the top one so that all notifications are on. That way, once I upload, you receive it to your phone, your iPad, or your computer. You'll get to see it first. So thank you so much for watching. I have so many ideas, so I'm really excited to keep moving forward. I'm not gonna lie, really excited to be done with this series. It took forever. Just made me think, like, if I continue to do the Burning Man series, which I know a lot of people want me to do, I have a list of like hundreds of videos, guys. Like for Burning Man, for tarot, for Fulfill It Yourself, for so many things. I'm trying to catch up on like years of my fucking life on this channel. So please subscribe, smash the like button. I love you guys. Thank you for watching this entire series if you did. And if you watched this video, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.